Hello, I'm Larissa. Welcome to my channel. I'm doing shadow scopes using the Enneagram, so I'll be reading tarot cards for what you can work on with your shadow aspect for your Enneagram type for January. But these are also timeless because there'll be messages that you can push into regardless of what time of year it is. So hopefully that'll be useful for you. And if you're interested in shadow work and the Enneagram, I have a course which you can get below. It's got like tons of stuff in there already, but I'm adding more even now. I'm adding even more information on the Enneagram and also more techniques and all kinds of stuff with manifestation. And in this new year, I will be running, for anybody that's already enrolled in the course, I'll be running a bunch of live calls. Type 8, Enneagram 8, this is your shadow work reading for January. Or if you just stumbled upon this randomly, then just try it out because I apply these specifically to the Enneagram type, so it will be like for you regardless of whenever you hear this. It will apply at some point in your life. So these are kind of hybrid readings and shadow works, so pathways. So yeah. Well, okay, 2 cards want to come out. I think I drew the hunt for you before. The sustainer and the hunter. Oh, this is like getting after it. This is getting after what you want. The shadow side of the sustainer could be boredom. It could also be other people relying on you too much or wanting to be in control of something so much that people rely on you. Does that feed you or does that just feed your ego? The hunter. This is action. This is like getting after what you want. This is like going for broke. And this shadow side of this can be burnout. This can be, putting on the like all the horse blinders. And that could be like other areas of your life suffering as a result of this like blind ambition or this blind fixation that you have. And I want to say this almost looks like a career reading, like a shadow career reading, just because of how this is showing up. So it could be like, are there areas of your life that are suffering because of this ambition? But we'll see what else we draw and then maybe circle back if that um, shifts a little bit. And of course, the high side of these things are creating. You're creating something, you're generating, you are, and that's to me like one of the highest things that can be done is like creation, right? And sometimes that comes at a price, right? If you really want something to come true. And I don't think that that's good or bad. So it's kind of like up to the person who's getting after it, right? If it's affecting your family or your whatever, then it's just like deciding. If it's affecting your like personal life, then just deciding like what's more important. And maybe it is the thing that you're chasing after. 7 of Wands and 2 of Swords. So yeah, that actually is kind of linked to that then. Yeah, and like the 7 of Wands kind of, to me at least, speaks to this energy because like this can be um this can be like this can be burnout, obviously, like working too hard. And then also like this is a very assertive type card. This is an 8 card, really, like a 3-7-8 almost card. And it's like, and when you're really assertive type, you can steamroll people. You can cross boundaries that are, irrelevant to your pursuit. You can make enemies, I think, without realizing it because you're just focused. And yeah, it may matter to you, might not. But the 7 of Wands, it does kind of speak to, there might be this like feeling of, oh shit, now um, I'm being attacked, or like people are coming at me. Now that I have to, I've created, like these are both sort of creating obstacles for yourself cards, the 2 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. Um, 7 of Wands is like, but the 7 of Wands is like no guts, no glory. So it's sort of, I don't think this is telling you not to be, a steamroller per se, but it's almost like, I think, asking you just to reflect on like maybe like if you have been in that energy, like just asking like, what is it getting you? You know what I mean? because the Two of Swords is, like I said, kind of can be creating your own obstacles, putting yourself between a rock and a hard place, like where you have to make a choice or you have to lose something, like a this or that kind of situation. And Swords is like communication. Um, it can be like an entrepreneurship card, like the Wands, but it's more usually like logical or mental based. Sort of can be academic, it can be social, it can be something in that realm. And Seven of Wands, you know, that also speaks again to like the sort of entrepreneurial, perhaps realm or realm of passion. So it could be like maybe you've made some enemies. That wouldn't be out of keeping with a bunch of the 8 readings that I've already done. The Hierophant. Okay, I like this because he's like the guru, right? Like he's kind of the prophet. He like he's the institution. He's the pope. He's the guy everybody goes to. He's the um but it's weird actually almost how he's sitting. It's like with his hands almost bound together and his knees locked, his feet turned inwards, and he's got like a little doll in his robe. Hmm. I almost get this almost sense of like feeling the need for self-protection as you have like risen or are rising to this kind of guru status, this leader role, where it's like if people have been coming at you and you've had to sort of like go for broke with your attitude, or like, you know, again, like no guts, no glory. It's like almost having like me against the world attitude and like having to do it to like protect yourself from um potentially people who have been butthurt in the wake of this, like whether it's very, you know, warranted or not. Some people just project, right? Because there does feel like this split. This is, I mean, if you look at how this is actually presented, this is perfect for a shadow integration card because it's like black and white. He is one half, the other guy's the other half. They're intertwined, but they're at odds with each other. So it's almost like maybe there's two parts of your shadow, there's parts of yourself. It's like the shadow self, the stuff that you're not owning, the stuff that you are denying about yourself, and the positive and the negative. And for eights, like that can be obviously vulnerability, your own needs. Maybe your heart has been hurt over something. Maybe your feelings have been hurt, and you're not willing to like see it. And so maybe it's coming out as more aggression, even than or hubris, or with you know the Hierophant here. Let's see what else comes out. So shadow work on that then would be like in your pursuit. It's like if you have felt attacked, or like people are coming for your throne, or people are out to get you, or um, just doing shadow work. I'm like, well, how does that feel? How does that make me feel? No one has to read it, right? You can be fully honest on the page. You can let your little tears out if you your icy tears. You can let them out. Why does that make me feel vulnerable? Why does that make me scared? What would happen if I, you know, slowed down a little? What would happen if I was more conscientious? What would happen if I was a bit nicer? Because yeah, there's this energy on the Hierophant where it almost just feels like he's trying. It's like he's the leader of the institution and people want his help, but he's almost like trying to keep them at an arm's length, at a distance. Like he's trying to make sure that they can't get in, which feels like a very rejection-y thing. It's like his wings are made of metal. So the Empress, the Empress, and that is actually a very feminine card. So that's like the Eight of Wands. The Empress is like a very feminine card because it's like fertility, creativity, receiving, giving, without boundary, without just, it's like also a muse card too. So it's like allowing yourself, allowing others to be influenced by you in a way that maybe feels threatening on some level. And then the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so that's like you're building your legacy here. Yeah, so I think because it's like showing a lot of action, and then we have the Empress, and then we have the Eight of Wands, which is an action card, but in this particular deck, it's like the opposite. It almost is like the reverse meaning of the Eight of Wands, it's like the shadow side, the low side, which is inaction. Like she's just lying here. It's like it's like these tiny horses here. They're just hanging out. She's sleeping, or she's dead. I don't know. She looks like she's sleeping. And there's like all of these things growing around her that she's just allowing. She's just given herself over to it, which is like that Empress energy. It's like allowing fecundity, growth, seeds, like things to sprout up around her without needing to control it. She's receiving it, she's allowing it, she's like just sitting back and allowing it to happen. Um, and it's like these little busy guys, these little bees are like weaving threads around her, and she's just standing there like, okay. And she's just lying there while these like birds chill. Probably, I don't know if they're, I don't see poop on her, but she's just allowing them to congregate without really making a thing of it. And then we have like the legacy card. So, building sustainable wealth, building the pathway to success, like having that achieved, reaching that community inheritance, like, but like building that so that you have something for others to inherit, kind of thing, whether you want that or not, but something long lasting. I mean, um, and so I feel like if this is sort of what you have been kind of trying to do, but you've maybe in the process maybe had to like throw up a lot of boundaries with the Seven of Wands here, and it's caused you to get in your head and like feel like you can't move in either direction without getting cut, with like the Two of Swords. Like you can't go too soft because that'll screw you over, but you go too hard and that's been screwing you over. So yeah, I feel like this is just like pointing to you um allowing, even if you don't have to soften so much as allow. Do you know what I mean? The Eternal Child. What a like shadow 8 card. That's so funny. I mean, it's kind of a 70 card, but it's also like, I think like this, it's like going from, it's like if you've been working really hard and really ambitious, and it's been like a very masculine adult sort of getting after it, like like Chariot sort of, like, or just again like this the real meaning of the Eight of Wands, getting after it energy, then I think that this is again suggesting like reconnect to the joy it brings you, reconnect to the play, so where it's not so serious. So if you kind of got lost in the seriousness of it, where it's like I'm gonna lose everything if I don't, keep out the traitors. I'm gonna lose everything if I don't like gatekeep, or if I don't, like protect all my assets, or my woman, or however this is showing up in your life, then the shadow work for you is actually to invite more play, more relaxation around the process, make it more of a creative, flowing, manifesting energy than like a surrender to it, instead of it being all about controlling and taking action and like the vision and like steamrolling, and like anything that gets in your way, like barricade, like steamrolling it. It's like just treating it more as like a game, I think, in January, and maybe in the future beyond that. So I guess like maybe some prompts for you would be like journaling or writing on like, what would make this more fun for me? What would make this feel lighter for me? How can I bring more play into what I'm doing so that not everything feels so heavy or important or serious or high stakes? Like, how can I introduce an element of fun to this for me again, if that resonates with you? And how can I ease up as I take action? How can I take action maybe more intentionally, where it's where you're not like thinking of adversarial concerns, or keeping things under a tight lock, or like you're not doing it from like almost like a scarcity territorial sort of mindset, like doing it more as like a loose play, like we're all just here to have a party, and I can throw the best party of all, or I can be like an anal retentive warlord about it. Hope that was helpful.